If you don't know who I am, I own an agency called ClickFox, and also I've been selling for many years. I've just sold one of my brands for multi-six-figure sum, and I'm just building another one. I've been using Sellerboard to do that whole thing. I'm going to show you inside the demo account right now so you can get a good understanding of why I use this tool and why it's so effective. If at any point you want to just cut the BS and just sign up to the tool, hit my 2-month free link below. You get 2 months completely free, no credit card required at all. Let's dive into the video. So as you can see, we are now inside the Sellerboard tutorial here, and what we're going to do is go into every single little section. So guys, by the way, you can go to the website and look at this demo at any time too. Now the first thing you will notice here is all of these little dashboards up here, and what this is today's profit, yesterday's, month to date, this month forecast, which is pretty accurate, and then last month's exact figures here, guys. So what this actually shows us is a good understanding of how we need to start looking at our business, how we need to start looking at our business on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. So the first thing I want to tell you here is, yes, we've got these panels here, but you can also change the layout here. So you've got today, yesterday, month to date, last month, which is what we're on right now, but that's totally up to your preference, guys. You can change it to all of these types here, or you can go ahead and put in a custom range. So if you want to look at the last year, you simply go on the same date in 2028, obviously, because obviously this is 2029, it's made up for a demo account, and you can look at the whole year. Any sort of stats you want to get, you can do them, and you can decide what way you look at this screen. Second thing I want to talk to you about here is, guys, you've got the tile layout, you've got the chart layout here, you've got the profit and loss, we've got the map view, and then we've got the trends. Now, as I say, check the demo out if you want to check these little things in detail. Most 99% of people will be using the tiles, so that's what I'm going to focus on in this video, right? Moving on to the actual individual parts of each tile as we move down the product page here. So you can click the more section there, and once again you can do the more on any one of these tiles, but just for an example, let's do the month to date. So not only can you see the total profit on the actual tile there, the 12,000 sales, the orders breakdown, the refunds breakdown, the advertising costs and the net profit, you can also click here and it will give you a more thorough breakdown. So let's say you log on and you notice that, hey, you know, I thought I've made more profit this month. Why is it only showing me 4,400 profit, right? And then you click onto it and you can look at all of the outgoings here just to check that everything's accurate. Sometimes Amazon charge you more than what they should, and actually there's a reimbursements feature on this software as well, which makes you get it actually for free in the end after all. So I'm going to show you that in the end. But yeah, for example, Amazon might have charged you more than what you should have been charged. You know, maybe they've refunded too much for your customers, right? So you can check here and then you can start requesting them back, right? So it's got the units total count here, and then it shows you the organic ones, a breakdown of the sponsored ones. It's cost you 26 of these sales have been sponsored, so that'll be where your ad spend's gone there. Shipping costs, it gives you a good breakdown of the divide between FBM and everything like that. Shows you the refund cost, refunded commission, refunded referral fee. It breaks absolutely everything down for you guys, even down to the inbound transportation there, the reversal reimbursements, any fees that you're unsure of. Sometimes you can click in here and go, it must be yesterday, this month I've spent a lot on inbound transportation because we're coming up to Christmas, for example. So that's where your extra profit has gone. For example, it will give you a breakdown of VAT if you're a UK seller as well, and all of your expenses there you can actually input into the expenses section, which I will show you in a second. So absolutely everything down there to your accountant, your photos and everything like that. So as I say, guys, you can look at this for any data range that you want. If we go on down here, guys, to the next section, the next section here is the products on an individual basis. So up here is the tiles for general month to date, yesterday, today, and all that sort of stuff. Down here, you've got it the same sort of setup, but for an individual ASIN setup, right? So for example, this product here, we can see that yesterday and the month to date, we have sold X amount of these particular products. Let's pick on this one, for example, and once again you can do this by yesterday, you can do this by today, and it will show you the exact products that you've sold in that time frame. Let's pick on this one here. So let's say, for example, you've seen that you've sold 179 units, you've got 5 refunds, which is quite a good ratio. You can see the amount of sellable returns you've got. We can see the amount we've spent on ads. We can see the total sales in terms of gross sale value, gross profit, net profit, and this will depend on the cost of good that you've entered here, which I'll show you in the next section. and then we got the margin, the ROI, and then the best thing about this is that you can scroll over to this section here. You can click on the more section and it will break it down just like it did with the tiles. It will break down in an individual basis every single product there as well, guys. So not only are we looking at this on the tile basis, we can look at it from an individual product basis. Once again, doing the same type of thing. So we've got the units there, we've got the organic sales and the sponsored, we've got the advertising cost there, we've got the shipping costs, how much it costs, the refund costs, VAT, Amazon fees that are attributed just to this individual product, guys. So yeah, I hope that video has helped. You can download them in all different types of forms as well, and you can choose the layout there depending on what ones you like. Let's now move on to the products section, guys. So when we move on to the product section, this is where you can start entering your cost of good for each product. And the cost of good that you enter here will obviously be reflected on the tiles and the individual product margin, ROI and profit bases that you're seeing. So for example, we've got the FBA ones here, we've got FBA best gift here, and you can put whatever sort of tags you want there. That's up to you. The cost of goods you can enter here, and then we can change it to the cost of goods type, right? So that gives you a good explainer there. So if your cost of good is, let's say, £2 continuously for the last 2 years and moving forwards, that's fine. It's just a constant price. But if your price was £1.50 when you started buying it, now it's £2, and your suppliers just informed you it's going up to £2.50, you may want to enter it by period or by batch. And what that means is we can enter it by period or batch depending on the dates you have had that price change. So we could enter it from the 1st of March to the 5th of April for a certain price, for example, and then December the 1st to January the 31st is a different price, and then after January the 1st onwards, it's a different price, if that makes sense. So that means that you don't have to keep updating your profit. You don't have to do averages for your profit. You can get your exact profit, and then it will tell you your profit per fee there. Click on that and it will give you a good breakdown. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Let me know in the comments if you've got any more questions. Let's click on the expenses here next, right? So the expenses is what I showed you there and on the tiles. And what this is going to do is reflect on the tiles. It's going to reflect on the individual profit per day, because depending on what date you want this to go out, you can pick the date you want it to go out over here. That will deduct from them profit tiles that I just showed you on that particular day. So you may see that you haven't made any money for one day, and that's because your accountant cost came out, your internet and telephone cost came out, and your Google Ads cost came out, and you've just attributed all here. So rather than at the end of the month having to do a spreadsheet for all of this stuff, you can add it all in here and it will deduct on whatever day you want it deducted or the day it actually comes out. And you can pick if you want it by month, the date that it comes out, the name of it. You can pick the category for it as well. And then you can have it attributed for an individual SKU if you like. So for example, the red jewelry cardboard, if we attributed one of the product image costs to that one, then it would show in that drop down for that particular product. It would be a cost attributed just for that ASIN, but it would also show up in the tiles. I hope that makes sense. And obviously we've got the amounts over there, and you can see the actions as well. So you can delete the expense and then delete the expense series. And a series, you could pick a lot of these and put them in the same series. For example, the photos could be in the same series as each other, and you could delete all the series at once if you needed to in the future. So that's the expenses, guys. The LTV over here is the analysis of the customer lifetime value, right? And it allows you to analyze the customer's lifetime value. I'll be honest, I don't really use this, but this is just going to give you a good idea of the repeat customers that you've got. Now, once again, click on the demo if you want to look at this in more detail. It's not something that I use particularly myself. Looking over to cash flow here as well, we can also track our cash flow over here, guys. So what this allows you to do is manage your cash flow by clicking on the add button, enter your additional investment in the business, the amount of paid for cost of goods as well as divided by VAT, Amazon pay out the expenses and everything like that, so you can manage how much you're actually getting into your bank account, and you can start predicting the future of your business. Once again, not something that I use, but it's nice to have it there to check. The report section here is dashboard by day, by month, by product. So the tiles that I showed you with the profit at the start of the video, you can actually go here and you can actually go ahead and get a report and download a report for each of them tiles whenever you want, if you want to show it to your accountant or if you just want to look at it yourself. Moving on down here, we've got the PPC section. So I own an Amazon PPC agency where we actually manage people's PPC spend. But if you want to get a good understanding of your PPC specific dashboard, because you can connect this to your Amazon seller account, you can see all of the profit and the ad spend and the ACOS that you're making as a little funnel over here on the right, guys. So you can track the ACOS you're doing, you can track the cost of goods, the Amazon fees, and the orders that you've got just from your ad spend over here, guys. And then if you scroll down here, it will attribute it to each product. Once again, guys, there's a lot of information here. I'm not going to go into too much detail for each section. The most important section here is the dashboard and the products. So you can enter all that to get your specific profit and your expenses. All of this stuff is just extra that you can look at and track. So we're going to close the PPC section right there. The next section I want to show you is the inventory planner. Now, this is one of my most important parts here, guys. And once again, stay till the end of the video because I'm going to show you how you can claw money back from Amazon using Sellerboard so it pays for itself and gives you a load of extra free money back anyway. But let me show you this section here, which is the planner. Now, this is one of my most favorite parts because this means that you can track the cost of good. You can track how much your business is worth at any one time. If you check this bar up here, similar to the tiles in the profit section, but obviously for a different part of your business, you can track the FBA and FBM, total cost of goods of your whole business, right? All of the units there, potential sales and potential profit. So what this is doing, if you haven't worked it out yourself yet, is it's taking all of the products from your business, it's getting a good idea of them products, and what it's doing is giving you an exact idea of how many units you've got either inbound to Amazon FBA, or you've got MF that you've marked in stock, or the stock that is active in your Amazon seller account. So at any one time you can actually see the potential profit you're going to make once it's sold and the potential sales, but the actual current cost of good, because that's the realistic price value of that stock right now, because obviously it's not sold yet. So, and then also we've got this section here and we've got the ordered section here, and the ordered section is where you can actually go ahead and add the orders that you've got from, say, your private label manufacturers. Not a section that I use personally. I just like to use it for the FBA inbound and active stock count at all cost of goods. That's because I only do FBA and I haven't actually been importing overall, but it will give you a total section here, guys, depending on how you want to do it, and it will give you a breakdown section here. And what it's also going to do is tell you how many days till next order, so it actually gives you an idea of how long you should wait until you make another order. But once again, for the purchase orders over here, which reflects this section here, that means that you can type into this section right here, and you can type in the orders that you've made, the value of them orders, the quantity of them orders, and then Sellerboard will go ahead and report that to this section here, and then you get a nice total. Once again, if you're doing Amazon FBA, you're importing products, you might just want to track that manually yourself and then only look at the section where it says FBA inbound and the active value. Or whenever you make an order, you might want to put it in purchase orders, and then it will still show up in the total value of your business here, guys. I hope that makes sense. Another really important section here, just before we move on to how you can get reimbursements from Amazon, is the FBA shipments section here, guys. And the FBA shipment section is very, very vital. Rather than manually going through your Amazon shipment section, what you can do is look at this page here, and it's going to tell you the shipment ID. It's going to tell you the date that was sent. It's going to tell you the created. It's going to tell you the destination it's going to, and it's going to tell you the percentage of when it's received or not, the amount of SKUs in there, the status that it's at currently, whether it's receiving, whether it's closed or whatever, and the last update. Now, why this is important, right, is because if we see one shipment that hasn't been fully stocked up, for example this one, we can see that it's been closed and only 8% of that shipment was fully received by Amazon. Now we want it to look like this. It needs to be 100%. Therefore, if it flags it up with 8%, that means there's a major issue with that shipment and we need to go ahead and investigate there, guys. So this gives you a good idea, and then you can go ahead and click on that and it will give you a breakdown of the products. You can then take that ASIN, copy that, go to Amazon, open a case, and then figure out with Amazon exactly why that hasn't been fully received and start chasing your money back. And that's what leads us onto this section here, guys. So that's just suppliers. That's a note of all your suppliers. I'm not going to go into that, but that's just somewhere for you to take a note of your suppliers. Let's go to the money back section here. This is the most important thing, and it's related to a lot of what we've spoken about. My favorite thing about this tool is this section here, right? So if you haven't thought about signing up, then this should really push you over the edge, because this tool will more than pay for itself, right? And remember, there's 2 months free below with no credit card required, so it's a total no-brainer. Every time you go onto your seller board, you'll be able to click on the money back section here, the lost and damaged, the returns, the FBA fee changes. Click on these sections and it's going to show you the estimated reimbursement amount that you are owed, updated of this date here. So how does this work, right? So this is Amazon scanning your Amazon account at any time. So Sellerboard scanning your Amazon account at any time, right? You can then download the report. You can contact Amazon seller support there and you can open these cases there. Show that template like that. You can take that template there, you can paste in the downloaded report there, and it will send a report of all these missing items and the returns missing items and the FBA fee changes. If you click on each section, you open a case with Seller Central following these instructions, and automatically after this, Amazon will start reimbursing you the amounts that have been broken down by Sellerboard here, guys. So this is something you must be doing. If you are not doing this on a regular basis, I promise you, you're losing a lot of money. As I say, when you start to sell, once you're doing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a week or even a month, you're going to be leaking money in your business if you're not doing this, guys. So this more than pays for Sellerboard on its own already, guys. So that is the full tutorial there. There's just a few things. You can also connect it to Shopify, to eBay and stuff just like that, guys. So that's the full tutorial. I hope that's helped. Let me know if you've got any comments below. Let me know if you want me to do any software tutorials of other tools, and make sure you get the 2-month free trial so you don't miss out on that amazing deal, guys. I've been Hayden. Thank you very much.